Hey, what's up, everybody? Well, I said I was going to make a video talking about the Mayweather-McGregor fight, not specifically about the fight, but about Mayweather and his awesome mental game. I mean, I never saw a guy with such amazing mental game. You know, in the past, I've spoken about other fighters, Bruce Lee, and of course, he was a legend, and he developed a whole entire philosophy and infused in that philosophy, or that philosophy became part of his mental game. But it was very, very clear to me with Mayweather, not just in the fight itself, but also in all the promotional tours, how he basically kept his cool. And Conor McGregor would be cursing, he'd be vulgar, he was like a kid, all right? Even though I think he's a fantastic MMA fighter. But and I'll talk a little bit about the fight first. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed the fight. The outcome was exactly as I had predicted, although I said I think that Mayweather would take him out by the eighth round. I did not expect the fight to go the distance, and people in the know, they all pretty much had that outlook as well. Now, the thing that really impressed me and showed to me not just what a great champion Mayweather is, but just also how he's so together with his mental game. First of all, in the fight itself, he had a strategy, and we call strategy execution here. You know, as traders, you have to always focus on execution. You cannot control events. I've said this so many times. You have to focus on execution. We have the knowledge, we have the skills, hopefully we have the mental game. And so when you have all those elements, it really boils down to a question of execution. You just got to keep moving forward and executing and executing. And moving forward, let's use that term, because that was part of Mayweather's game plan. He went up against a guy, and I hear a lot of, still accolades being tossed out about Conor McGregor, how it was such a moral victory and he lasted so long. Look, let's understand something. Conor McGregor is an elite professional fighter. That's what he does at the highest level of professional fighting, okay? He is an elite professional fighter. He trained in boxing. So let's understand, it's not like some guy off the street went in there to fight Mayweather. Of course he was going to last rounds against Mayweather. The guy is an elite professional fighter who outweighed Mayweather, who was taller than Mayweather, who had a longer reach than Mayweather. He had a lot of very, very strong capabilities. So again, it's not like some guy came off the street and went into the ring with Mayweather and lasted 10 rounds. No, you're talking about a guy who is a professional fighter at the highest level. So yeah, he lasted, but Mayweather adopted a strategy. And by the way, don't forget, McGregor himself, as well as many, many other people, if you look at the betting lines, they all thought that McGregor was going to knock Mayweather out. McGregor was saying he wouldn't even last one round, but he's probably going to give him two, and he's definitely not going to last more than four. Couldn't knock him out. In the first round, Mayweather basically did a rope-a-dope, that old Ali strategy, laying on the ropes, and McGregor gave him everything he got. The bigger man, flailing away with punches, everything. He took it all. And supposedly it was going to be a one-punch knockout if McGregor had that opportunity. He hit him with an uppercut. I think it was in the second round or the third round. But execution. So this is part of the mental game, that Mayweather's plan was to move forward on him, the smaller guy, moving forward on the bigger guy, because he said, I want to give the fans what they came to see. Okay? Very valiant, very noble. I mean, he could have taken him out much sooner, but he wanted to move forward, and when you move forward, you're going to take shots. He took shots. He took all of McGregor's best shots, but that's part of his execution, of his strategy, of his plan. Next, there was a lot of rabbit punches and behind the back stuff when McGregor would turn him around, and Mayweather was asked in interviews post-fight, Did that bother you? Did that hurt you? Were you upset about that? And he said, look, it's not my job to be the referee. There is a referee in there, and I basically allow him to do his job. I focus on my job, which is to fight. Again, amazing mental game. Focus. He could have got all flustered and taken out of his game by calling attention to the rabid punches and the other illegal strikes, the hammer fist that McGregor was hitting him with, him going around his back, but he didn't. He stayed focused, and if you noticed, every time the ref broke him apart, he would immediately come right back in, Mayweather, like a robot, just completely focused on his execution of his plan. And the plan was brilliant, okay? It wore him out. He could have easily outboxed McGregor to the point where McGregor would not even have landed a punch on him, maybe one or two punches. He let him win a couple of rounds. Part of the strategy, execution, doing it. And then finally, in the end, he was asked again in a post-fight interview. I heard people already trying to denigrate his win, his victory, 50-0, trying to say, well, that's not, that really doesn't beat Rocky Marciano, who previously was 49-0, and Mayweather was tied with him. People were trying to denigrate it. They were trying to discount it. They were trying to knock it down, saying, you fought a guy who's not a boxer. It doesn't count, yada, yada, yada. And you know what? Mayweather didn't get upset. He didn't allow other people to define what a win was for him, okay? That's detachment, all right? That is a mental game concept that I teach. Detachment. He said it's a win, all right? He framed it for himself. He goes away 50-0, and he allows everybody else to argue about, is that a legitimate 50th win or it's not a... He doesn't care. He does not allow other people to define what is success for him. Powerful, powerful lessons from Mayweather. And by the way, he was very gracious in victory. Conor McGregor was already complaining about the ref's stoppage too soon. The ref is not going to let you go for a minute and a half when you're getting your face beat in and you're not even throwing a single punch. If he had thrown a punch or two, the ref would have allowed him to go out flat on his back, which is what he was saying he wished would have happened. That would have happened. That was coming. He was going down. He did not throw a punch for a minute and a half. You got to show that you're there. You got to show that you're there. He was not there. So, he's a young kid, 29. There's a difference between confidence and hubris. There's a difference between confidence and cockiness and hubris. I think McGregor has more of the latter and less of the former. By the way, there was also an element of quitting in that fight. And we saw that with the first Nate Diaz fight, where basically McGregor quit. He went to take down Nate Diaz, who's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and Nate Diaz says, oh, you're a wrestler now? And it was all over, because he was basically saying, Conor McGregor was basically saying, take me out of this. I quit. I don't want to handle it. The best fighters are the ones, when you reach that point and you feel like you want to quit and you can't take it anymore, you just keep going and going and going and push it through. Conor McGregor talks now like, oh, if only I had made it, through the 10th round, if the ref didn't stop it. No, you got to not quit. You got to keep punching. You got to show the ref that you're still there. So there was an element in quitting there. So much so much to study here from Floyd Mayweather. Incredible performance. I was very happy with the outcome. Even though I'm not a boxer, I train in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, or I used to. But fantastic, but a lot to learn from the mental game. Absolutely. It was awesome. It was awesome.